Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Christian Audia, and joining me tonight is Brandon Koch, the executive producer of At the Desk's election night coverage. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Brandon. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get the ball rolling. So what is PSN TV's At the Desk?
At the Desk is the newest show on PSN TV. We are all things crime, history, and politics. We are 3 different panels. We have a lot of really talented panelists, and we talk about all things crime, history, and politics. I mean, I produce the history panel specifically, so we do fun little, I guess, games and different ways to make history interesting. We have a politics panel that talks all things politics, hence election coverage tomorrow night. And then we have a crime panel that goes over different crimes from the past. True crime fans would absolutely love that. It's like podcast style. They sit around the table. It's really fun.
Is the history panel your favorite panel? Or?
Of course it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. What's your favorite thing you get to do for the history panel?
I love working with our writers. We have a group of writers that write for the history panel, and they are absolutely fantastic. It's really cool because I can just tell them, like, I want to see this, and they make it happen every time. They're fantastic.
Great. Love to hear that.
Yeah.
So as you know, tomorrow is At the Desk's live election coverage special.
Oh, yeah.
So what inspired you to create the special?
I mean, there's a lot of different things. I think that being on the show and seeing the people I work around, wanting to do something special with them is a really important thing for me. But I mean, it's the election. You only get one opportunity to do this when you're a college student. We're here for 4 years. Every 4 years is the election, right? I'm a senior. No better time than now to make it happen. And I'm glad that I have such a great team around me that has allowed me to make it happen. And we are so looking forward to tomorrow night.
And speaking of tomorrow night, what can viewers expect to see in the episode?
A lot of different things. We're actually pooling a lot of different packages from different places around PSN TV. So there's going to be some PSN News featured on there. And there's going to be some Center County Report featured on there. And then there's going to be stuff from At the Desk that we created, different interviews. We have an interview with Speaker McClinton of the House. We have different interviews from the mayor of State College, Ezra Naines. And we have a lot of different really cool stuff going on. And it's going to be a really fun time, yeah.
And what's your favorite thing you're looking forward to tomorrow? Like if you had to pick one thing out of everything.
I think seeing a vision completed that I've worked really hard for and the team around me has worked really hard for, being able to see that come to fruition is going to be amazing and very, very important to me. And I love the crew that I have around me, so doing it together as a team and watching everyone else succeed, that's going to make me incredibly happy when it's all said and done.
That's so great. And as executive producer, what would your responsibilities look like tomorrow?
Tomorrow, well, I'm also going to be assistant directing, so I'm going to be directing a lot of it with our director, Leah, who's fantastic. My responsibilities are going to be making sure that the schedule goes well, things are happening on time, packages are airing. We're going to have a research team upstairs in the studio here that's going to be updating us live on what's happening in the election, so polling numbers, different headlines throughout the night. It's going to be a lot about me being the middleman between them and in here, so that way we can have a flawless night and we can make sure everything is up to date and current. Because ultimately, when you're watching election coverage, it needs to be up to date and current, or else it's not exactly worth it. So my responsibility is to make sure that it's up to date, current, and flows well.
Nice. And how do you balance being a student and your responsibilities as the executive producer for the special?
That's a really good question because it's not easy. I have a lot of really good professors, honestly, that are keyed in on what I'm doing. And they've been very lenient with me in my ability to like make class as much as I can and do as much as I can to put in work in my classes. But they've helped me so much by just giving me tips and tidbits, pieces of advice on what I could be doing, what we should be doing. And it's been actually a very, very collaborative experience with them, which has been really cool to see. Not often do you get to do something and have your professors help you with it, right? So I have all these different professors that are journalism experts that have really been like, okay, this is what you should do, this is how it should look, et cetera. And it's been fantastic. The experience has been stressful at times, of course. However, they've done a great job at making me feel prepared for my classes and allowing me to relax as much as I can. So that way I can do my duties and also be a great student.
Nice. And is there one particular professor you maybe want to shout out tonight that's helped you out the most?
Absolutely. I'll shout out Katie O'Toole. She's my audio news production professor, and she is lovely. We have an awesome class, and we do a lot of really cool stuff. And she has always been there as like a support beam for me when it comes to like my expeditions in news per se, and she's really good at what she does. So she's always helping me out, asking me about how it's going. She emails me different stories. She's fantastic, and she knows like how much I have going on, and she makes sure that she's there for me. So big shout out to Katie, man.
Hopefully I get to take her in the future.
Yeah, Com 360, take it.
And what are some potential challenges you expect for tomorrow?
Well, I mean, the number one challenge is going to be staying up to date, like I said. I mean, it's a very sporadic night, right? So there's going to be a lot of difficulties we face in terms of spontaneity. However, our plan for tomorrow is about being prepared to be unprepared. So when we're being unprepared, we're going to know, we knew this was going to happen, right? We knew that we were going to have a moment when some state did something, some Senate race did something, a congressional race did something we weren't expecting. When that happens, that's when we're like, all right, we're good, we're settled. So we expect some challenges. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be a good time.
Great. I look forward to tuning in tomorrow as part of it. Well, thank you so much, Brandon, for your time and really explaining, what At the Desk's live election coverage is all about. So thank you for coming in tonight.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Now stick around because coming up next, Jordan and Emma will have the latest news from across the nation. Stay tuned.